All right, this is going to be the video of instruction on how to use the portable blue tank. You'll need the blue tank, the sewage supply crate, and out of the sewage supply crate you'll need the small hose with caps on both ends of it, the see-through elbow, and your rubber gloves. All of those items will be stored right here in the main compartment. You just have to lift this up and they will all be stored back there along with a few other items, as you can see, and there's an items in storage list right there. Then you come over to this side of your camper and you place your blue tank here. Now the dump will be coming out of this area right here, this port. The left side, the black one, is the black tank, so that'll be out of your toilet. And then these two gray ones are your gray tank and your fresh tank. So those will be out of your shower and your sink. So the first thing we're going to do is these must be pushed in, because if you pull them, that's when the tank dumps. So they're all pushed in, so I can turn this and see the port without anything coming out. I'm just going to put this over top so it's not in the way. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the top of this cover right here. Give me one sec. So there's actually a cover on both ends. I've taken them both off and just set them on top of here so I don't forget them. Now I'm going to take this and I will attach it right here to the end of the camper port. And what I like to do is have it as condensed as possible right here, so that when it is time to pull it out to size, I can pull it out as far as I want. Sorry, I forgot one part. Let's take this back off. This needs to be connected to this side, and then we'll put that there. Let me do that real quick. So now that I've got this, sorry about that, I can actually connect this. So you want your clear elbow running into here, and you want it at a 90-degree angle to the left or right, but more than likely, or if you can go down, that's better, but more than likely you'll be on level ground, so you'll have to go out to the left. And like I said, I condense it as much as possible, so when it's time to pull it out, I can pull out as much as I want. I'll then take off the cap to the blue tank. There we go. And this is a important step, is to twist off this. This just relieves the air pressure inside of there. You don't have to take it all the way off. That's just like a little air pressure place. So I'm gonna screw that back on just a little bit. So like I said, you can just take it like halfway. You can just unscrew it about halfway, and that'll do the trick. So there it is, unscrewed about halfway. Now we're going to connect our tube, our hose, just like that from the camper. Now, we will want it ideally to go downhill so that it will flow from here out and in. If it's level and that's the best you can do, then that's just what you got to work with. I'm a little uphill. I'm going to try to make it as level as I can, but it should work. Okay, now that we've got everything secure, this is secured to here. We've got our clear elbow here, and that's secured to there. We can now pull the far one, and still nothing is coming out. Now, once we pull this one, there will be water and waste coming out. So here it starts to flow and goes through the tube and into the tank. Now, you shouldn't have any leakage throughout any of these places. Now, this is the gray water tank that I'm relieving, so you can see that water is clear. When it's the black water tank that you're relieving, of course, it's going to be brown and real dirty water, because it is coming out of your toilet. So you don't want any leaks or anything like that coming through this area. Now, once you're done draining your gray tank and your black tank, now I would advise you to do the black tank first so that the gray tank can run back through, but no worries, I can flush it out after. As long as they're empty, that's all that matters. Push that one back closed, push that one back closed. Now it is done draining, so we can pop this off, and what you want to do is lift it right up so the rest in this tube can flow into the tank. And now we're going to take the other side of this tube off. So now I've removed the other side of the tube. I'll just set it over here on the ground, or a place that I don't mind if anything that's in that hose gets on the ground. Now for transportation, I will put this back on here. These two go to the tube. Those both go there. Last but not least, we want to secure this back onto this port. Okay, so now we're good with the camper. Everything is closed up. These don't matter how you turn them. It's only about pulling and pushing on them. When they're pushed in, they're closed. Now for transportation. So there's two or three ways of doing this. So this can hook up to a car and or a golf cart, which is the best case scenario. It does have good enough wheels to do that. The other way to do it though is just to grab it, and it rolls pretty well. So as long as you're on a decent level ground, there's no reason that you can't roll it down to the station. Okay, now that I've rolled it over here to my personal dumping station, I'm not at a campsite or a horse park or campground or anything like that, but this is my just personal sewage tap in. But anyways, I've backed up the blue tank to where this side is of course closest to the dump. I forgot to mention earlier, but for this part, it could take any kinds of different fittings to fit into here. I do have a bunch of fittings, different fittings. This one in particular fits into there. So you can use this one or whatever fits best into your pipe. So as you can see, I've taken our hose, I've taken off the cover to the pipe, I've attached this to the end of the hose, I've taken off our elbow here. Now, this is the same as what we just did earlier on our camper. If this is shut down, you're closed, you're good to go. You can take this off. Sometimes they're hard to pop off. Give me 1 second. Okay, now that I've popped this off, set it up top so I don't forget it. Now I will be connecting. I gotta bring it a little closer because this hose is kind of short. No problem. I'm just gonna put it on. Take this and connect it. And this will run straight out of the tank into here. Now, once again, you want the tank at a higher level than that so that gravity can pull it down. Now, once again, check to make sure that this is not tightened all the way down. You want this to have some air pressure released there so you can dump it. Now, once we've connected everywhere, we're good to go. We can pull this and it'll start to dump through this pump straight into here. And you wait till it's empty. And you can do a few things to make sure it's like completely empty, like picking the side up, tipping it towards the dump side, but you're never going to get it 100% empty. More than likely you'll always have a little bit of water left in there, but you can tell by the weight and by listening to the water come out when it's empty. Now that your tank is all empty, you want to close off the port. We can undo this one and bring it straight up once again, so that any of that water in the tube will go straight into the dump. Now that we brought it up, we can take our part out. I'm just on gravel, so I don't mind setting it there and replacing the top to the dump. Now, like I said, I'm at my own personal dump, so this will be different at different campsites, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Final steps: to take your cap, close this back off, just like so. Make sure that's down, and now we want to tighten this back so that none of the smell can get out of the tank. Last but not least, we want to take off our attachment here. Give me 1 second. After we've taken off our attachments, we just will always want to make sure to put the I guess you can call these lids back onto our hose. So give me 1 second.